What if it does work though? Before I start this video, I want to say sorry if my videos have sucked so far. Um, I've just been yapping. You know what I mean? But I'm here to tell you today, what if it does work though? Okay? Now, I'm gonna read you what I wrote. I'm gonna read you my notes on the matter, which I have over there. Um, Before we get into that, because that's where the real spill is. So I'm gonna read you what I wrote on the matter, what if it does work, and this video kind of works with my other couple videos that I recorded today that will go out before this, daring to dream it and just doing something. Because I'm here to talk about today, what if it does work? Because a lot of people kind of self-doubt. And I just kind of want to kind of give you the idea today of what if it does work though? What if what you do does work, and kind of just the payoffs of that, and a kind of incentive to start and do something and kind of change your mindset. Like I say, I'm no guru, bro. I'm not trying to sell you anything. I've just lived this stuff. Everything I talk about, I've just lived it. I know what I'm talking about. I've lived it all. So let me set this down right here and we're going to get right to it. Give me a minute. So I'm going to read you what I wrote here and then we'll talk about it further. What if it does work though? We're still conditioned in the old way of life where surely you can't just start earning thousands, hundreds of thousands, or millions out of nowhere over a year or a couple years' work, especially if you're young. But yes, you can. Look at how big the Titan companies got with the internet, with the first generation of young people using it in full swing. Things never thought possible before are. You see so many young adults coming up hundreds of thousands, now millions, so quickly. This is the new age. We're taught to believe that you start low and have to work your way up through. Sorry, I think someone's there. Give me a minute. I think it's just a bird. If you're young, but yes, you can. Look how big the Titan companies got with the internet, with the first generation of young people using it in full swing. Things never thought possible before now are. You see so many young adults coming up hundreds of thousands, now millions, so quickly. This is the new age. We're taught to believe that you start low and have to work your way up through life, but that's not it at all. That's what lets the rich take the quick bite and you slave away for them your whole life. When having thoughts of quitting or being beat up by what you look like and what others think, just picture from a third person point of view what you look like in your dream scenarios. Maybe walking, jumping, and laughing through that city you've always wanted to be in. Every time you have a negative thought, try this because I promise it works, which it does for me. Put everything aside and flip it no matter how out of place or unreal it feels or how unconfident you feel. Just say, what if it does work though? Imagine it. Look at the world's biggest examples: Bezos, Gates, Amazon, Microsoft. What if it does work though? Your favorite sports players, they sat in that school locker room as a youngin' and said, what if it does work though? Your favorite entertainers, YouTubers, artists, all were scared to make that piece of content. But what if it does work though? I want you to truly realize that if you pull back that arrow on your bow in the nighttime and aim for the stars, there's no telling what you could hit. You'll only ever know once you let it fly. Ignore the whole physics and logistics side to this example. I know the arrow ain't even going to come close to hitting the stars or leaving the atmosphere, but the point is to visualize it. How many stars are up there? We tend to think that the universe has it out for us and is looking to try to stop us from succeeding for some reason. What from? Is that a bird or is that a person? Bro, they're making noise. The universe actually wants to see you succeed. Strangers want to see you succeed. We're all here to cheer you on because every time you hesitate, what if it does work though? Is that dream life slash scenario trade off really worth throwing away in your one time you get to live this life for all those years of living how you dreamed of? Is it all worth throwing away to live how you live now? Forever, the life you're not satisfied with, all for the sake of comfort and because you were worried it might not work. What if it does? You didn't even witness a result yet. And yeah, I'm kind of just going to build on that. I'm going to take you for a quick walk because we're at 4 minutes already. And my videos, these batches have been way longer than I bargained for because I like to yap a lot, bro. My lips are so ashy and dry. I forgot my Vaseline. But to build on the point, it's like, yeah, what if it does work though? And that's what I'm thinking with these videos right here. What if it does work though? You can say what if it doesn't, but what if it does? For me, ultimately, you know, I'd rather try than not try because if it doesn't pay off, then you're right back where you started. You were right back where you were anyway. You were right back where you were familiar with and sat, and I don't want to be there. So what if it does work? So for me, like the payoff for it working, bro, is ultimately so much better than the payoff for, just not doing anything because you're scared that it won't work. Sorry. Ooh. But that's kind of my whole point. What if it does work? I just want you to sit and imagine. And actually, I'm gonna put this down because I did this for last video and it looked good. Yeah, I know that's right. Oh, look at me, bro. I look like I'm a titan. I look like I'm stood tall. And that thing is huge, by the way. That's wait. Should I go over near it just to show you? Hold on. So I'm gonna keep talking to you because I have the mic here as I walk over here to show you the comparison for no other reason than the fact that I got distracted. But what if it does work though, bro? I'm serious. Just picture it for a second. Anything you've ever wanted, anything you've ever dreamed of, like I say, you gotta dare to dream it first, refer to my other video. But what if it does work? Every time that you have a negative thought or a thought of maybe this won't work, what if it doesn't go wrong? What if, there's so many people trying these things. There we go, that's how big it is. There's so many people trying these things, and you're thinking, why would it select me? Why would it, why would I be the one to get selected and have it work for? There's so many people trying it. Um, and my point is, like, what if it does work though? Every time you have a negative thought of feeling like it won't work, just tell yourself, what if it does work though? And picture it, really envision it, you know? Think about what if it does work? Because it can, bro. There's no reason, like, there's no guarantees in life, right? So the people that have made it, there is no guarantee that they made it. So why do you feel like there's any guarantee that you won't make it? You know? I know, like, a lot of us are going up against things that a lot of people are trying, but there's always going to be new people coming up, right? It's never going to just stay the same. There's new millionaires every day. There's new people coming up on a platform every day. It's changing constantly. It's a cycle. So I want you to tell yourself that, anytime you have a negative thought, or even if you're not having negative thoughts, you're just kind of neutral. Just think about it and think, what if it does work though? And really picture yourself in that life. Picture that life, whatever your life is. For me, I want the big house and I want the many, many cars. And for me, it's like I think about what if it does work though? Like recording these videos because these are my first batch, and I'm still nervous. I'm still yapping. I still don't have this thing under wraps. And it's like, what if it does work though? So I woke up this morning at 4 because it's just past 6 a.m. right now. It's probably like 6:15. Um, and I'm not gonna lie, I was confident last night, and then I woke up and I was like, do I really want to do this? Because I know I wanted to do it, but I was like, oh, I'm nervous, bro. What if these videos suck? But this is my last chance to kind of record because I want to start uploading early June, like the first week in June, and keep like a 3-day, 3 upload a week schedule. And it's like, because I just want to see how far I can take this in 6 months, right? I want to see how much I can kind of create something within 6 months. So I'm gonna go hard. So, and I'm thinking like, what if it does work though? There's so many scenarios, bro. Like I'm thinking even with this video, and I'm thinking like I could just not do numbers at all, which would be a shame. But then at the same time, what if it does work though? You know, what if it does? What if I get to Christmas time this year, which will be like my 6 month window, because I already have 6 months of videos lined up, like video ideas that I need to record, and now I'm like starting to. This is the first batch. But what if it does work? What if I get to Christmas time and I have like a decent audience, a decent following? I've created a family right here on YouTube, right? And that's cool to me. That's what I want to do. And then I think if I can do that and I can, create a mini audience, once I'm confident enough to bring my true character out on camera and I can be loud and I can be everything that I am off camera, it's like, imagine how far I could take it. I truly feel like I could be one of the biggest entertainers in the world. And that might be crazy saying as like a new starter, bro, someone starting, someone who's just at the beginning, but trust me, I know how magnetic I can be. And I can say this because I spent years bettering myself, right? I spent years trying to become better. I spent years working on myself, you know, going against what people would say, all this. I've done the self-improvement thing. I've lived it all, bro, already. So I can say this that I know I have a spark. I know I'm I know I'm gonna be a golden child once I get this whole thing on the wraps, but what if it does work? You know, that in my head, that's what if it does work. I'm thinking, what if it does work? I know I could take it to the moon, and that's how you got to think. You can't lose hope. If you just tell yourself that it's not gonna work, and you're like, yeah, you know, I'm, it's not gonna work for me, this and that, then it won't, bro, because you won't be putting your soul into it and your passion, and you won't be really going for it. So whether it's a kind of reference like I just mentioned, or just anything in life, bro, anything that you want to attempt, anything that you want to go for, what if it does work? We're conditioned to think that it's unrealistic or whatever, but you have to be unrealistic, right? Because being realistic, the realistic has been made to work a job that you don't like your whole life, trading 5 days a week, every week for your life for 2 days off, where you don't even get to fully relax because you got to run errands and set shit in place for next week. So be unrealistic and just think, what if it does work though? Because being unrealistic is your realistic, right? My unrealistic, well, no, my realistic to everyone else that I tell, I haven't told you guys yet, but the way I want to live, bro, my realistic is unrealistic to everyone else. And that doesn't bother me because I'm thinking, what if it does work though? You know? And we can look back on these in the future and see if it did work. But what if it does work? And I want you to tell yourself that before I end off this video. But stay for the end, please. What if it does work? I want you to tell yourself that. Because I'm not the only one capable of doing something here. You can too. What if it does work? Every time you have a doubt, picture your dream life and think, what if it does work? And just picture you living that dream life. For me, it's the cars and the house, the big house. And every time I kind of get demotivated and think, oh, I don't want to do this, bro. I'm nervous. I don't want to do this. I just think, I picture myself, what my life would look like, what my daily life. I picture bringing my friends over, having fun road trips. I picture even just sitting on the couch at the house, looking out the window to my many, many cars, supercars that I love in that big house that I want. And I just think, what if it does work? Is that not exciting for you guys? For me, it is. I'm telling you, that ain't exciting for you, then I don't know what to tell you anymore, bro, because what if it does work? Like, picture that your whole life, it's not out of reach. It might seem unrealistic, but you live in the same world that everyone living your dream life does, right? They've got it just out there somewhere. So what if it does work? And for me, that excites the fuck out of me. Thinking, what if it does work? Thinking I've lived a life that I'm unsatisfied with, not unhappy, but I'm still happy, but just unsatisfied with. I lived a life that I'm so unsatisfied with for so long now. And it's like, I think about it. What if it does work? What if it does work, bro? What if we look back and I really do? My daily life is now the big house, the cars, living how I want to be with a family of millions, bro, of you guys. Just what if it does work? And I want you to tell yourself that. Think of your dream scenario, what it working means for you. You know? I want you to think of what it means if it works for you. You know, envision your dream life. Think about it. Picture daily scenarios, even the little stuff, bro. Like moving that toaster in your dream house or whatever. Either you get your toaster and move it over. Just think about even doing daily little tasks like that. And I promise they mean a lot more than you would think they mean. What if it does work? And I want you to tell yourself this. If there's anything you're going to come away from this video with, it's what if it does work? And every time you have a negative thought or feeling down or nervous, like you don't want to do something or like it won't work, I want you to fully flip it, even if it's not in character for you, and just think, what if it does work though? And instantly just picture that dream life, picture how you want to be living, think about it, um, and just sit there and let it resonate and marinate for like a minute and just think, hold on, this is real life. It doesn't have to, I don't have to dream this forever. I really could be living like that. With that being said, I hope I got my message across because I'm really passionate about all this. And if I'm like not really getting it across to you guys and putting it in your head, then I feel like I'm not doing my job right, which sucks because that represents me bad. And I really do have some truth to say. And I know if I was confident on camera, I really, really could see some mind blowing shit to get this into your head. But what if it does work? Just keep telling yourself, what if it does work? What if it does work? I might not have seen any growth. I might have seen slow growth. It might not be working fully for me right now, but what if it does work one day? Look back, you got years, bro. Um, And what if I look back one day and it has worked? What if it does work? I could be there living with them cars, with them house. It's pretty special. Anyway, I'm gonna end the video off because what are we on? 15 minutes. Oh my god. Oh my god. 15 minutes, bro. I was expecting these to be like 5 minutes. I'm sorry if I bored you guys, right? This is long. This is 15 minutes is a long video, even for like a hyper edited, like really engaging video. And now you're just sitting watching me here in a field talking shit, stumbling over my own words, not knowing what to say. So I'm gonna end the video off. Um, Finally, I want to tell you that if you enjoy what I do and you see any potential in me, or you just want to come along for the ride or whatever, then please subscribe. You know, you're not powerless here. I can't take this anywhere without you guys. I need you guys for this. So if you want to sub up, come along for the ride. I promise I'll get better. You will see over the next few months, you will see me just become so much more myself, you know, and come out my shell way more. So if you want to subscribe and come along for that, then please do. Please don't subscribe and just leave forever because it'll kind of fuck the algorithm up and like the retention on the channel. And YouTube will say this channel is not a good channel. We're not gonna recommend it to anyone, which ain't good. I'm trying to build a family here, bro. With that being said, music. If you like music, check out my music. It's on all streaming platforms, except Apple-based ones because they won't put my stuff up. I don't know why. Under the name Issniz, Issnizz. If you want to support further with the music, and this is, you know, music supervisors especially, check out the music because it's insanely cinematic. I've got instrumental albums out and I've got instrumental albums coming out, and they're all incredible. There's some insane sync potential in there, I promise you. And I'm trying to land a few sync deals. Um, but if you want to help further, just as like, you know, a viewer, I'm gonna leave my site in the pinned comments. So you can buy all my albums there for $1 each. That's the lowest I could put them without having a bunch of free stuff. You can buy them for $1 each. That's just if you want to support further. Please don't feel obliged. You know, if you didn't like this video or you don't want to do any of that, that's completely fine. You know, I appreciate your time. It's cool. But if you want to help further, you can buy all my albums for $1 each, but you can pay more if you want. If you want to help further and you just want to give a little bit more, again, completely optional, you can. There's an option too, and I would appreciate it so very much. I'd appreciate it greatly. But I will leave that in the pinned comment. My site, you can buy all the albums and you get to download them so you can listen to them offline. You don't need Wi-Fi. You could be on a road trip with no Wi-Fi or data or whatever, and you can listen to them offline. With that being said, sub up. Check the music out. I'll leave my socials in the pinned comment too, or just my Instagram if you want to hit me up and we can chop it up, talk, whatever. With that being said, this video has gone on way too long. It's an 18-minute video, and I will see you guys later. Remember, what if it does work? Think about that.